Howdy do, Who fans, and welcome to the Big Blue Box podcast. My name's Gary.
My name's Adam.
And this is episode 290.
Indeedy.
One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.
Our lives are different to anybody else's. That's the exciting thing. Nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow, so the TARDIS should be free of the force field now.
You may be a doctor, but I'm the doctor. The definite article, you might say.
The trouble with time travel is, one never seems to find the time.
Change, my dear, and it seems not a moment too soon.
Unlimited rice pudding, etc., etc.
I am the Doctor!
For now, for this moment, I am the Doctor again.
The ground beneath our feet is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. And the entire planet is hurtling around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour, and I can feel it. We're falling through space, you and me.
People assume that time is a strict progression of cause to effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
I could be a curator. I'd be great at curating. I'd be the great curator.
I could retire and do that. I'm the Doctor. I've lived for over 2,000 years, and not all of them were good. I've made many mistakes, and it's about time that I did something about that.
Bit of adrenaline, dash of outrage, and a hint of panic knitted my brain back together. I know exactly who I am. I'm the Doctor, sorting out fair play throughout the universe.
Hey, Who fans, welcome back to the Big Blue Box podcast. This is episode 290. Hope you've all had a cracking week and that you've all managed to do something Doctor Who related.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hope you're all keeping safe and healthy during lockdown. I assume whatever country you're listening to us in, you're in some kind of lockdown. If you're not, that's cool. And if you are, hope you're keeping it sane and got your mental health all in check and steady as well. It's not just physical. Make sure you're keeping your mental sanity in check. We'll be through it soon, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, dude, episode 290 in the week that it's Doctor Who Day, Doctor Who's birthday.
Yeah.
57 bloody years, mate. Who'd have thunk it?
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
7 years, imagine that. Still going strong.
Still going strong. The greatest science fiction series ever, apparently.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I would say it's a decent contender for that title.
Well, apart from, obviously, Blake 7. But, yeah.
Blake 7. I heard there was a new Blake 7 Big Finish story coming soon, dude.
Oh, there is, yes. Yeah, there is. But it's on digital only.
Digital only, right.
I'll probably get it at some point, but yeah, I didn't rush to buy it. Their Blake 7 audios are very good, actually. I do normally buy every single one, but you know me, I'm a physical person, and when I saw there was a new one, I was like, oh, digital only, well, I'll get that at some point.
Here we go. I'm physical only.
Physical only.
Yeah. So that's really cool, though, isn't it? 57 years. We're not too far out from the 60th, dude. Wonder what we're going to do for that.
Oh, I know. It's crazy, isn't it, to think about that? It's quite exciting, really, isn't it? I mean, the way the production's going in a minute. Well, Jodie will probably still be the Doctor, and we'll probably only have had one series in between. It's rattling around pretty quick. If you think about season 13, isn't it? Probably isn't going to be out for another year, is it?
Potentially, yeah.
So that'll be the 58th birthday, and then you're only 2 years away. Who knows? Will Jodie be the Doctor? Will we have a new Doctor? Will the show have been cancelled? Who knows?
Hopefully not.
Sorry, that was a really bleak. Anyway. No, I don't know. I'm just saying, who knows? Of course, it won't have been cancelled. I think Doctor have gone forever. But where will it be? Who knows? Will the Chibs still be showrunner for the 60th, or will there be a new showrunner? It's it's that sort of tight in between couple of years gap. Anything could happen.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're staying out of it.
Will the 10th Doctor ever pair up with the 13th in any format again?
Yeah. Maybe Chris Eccleston will come back for the 60th.
I actually can see that. I mean, there was a time when you would say, no, that would never, ever happen. That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
He's never going to do a convention. He's never going to do Big Finish. So,
now look.
never say never. Mm.
Now look.
I can see that happening, Imagine that. Imagine Eccleston, Jodie, Tennant, Smith. Who am I missing? Fugitive Doctor, Joe Meyer. Imagine that. That'd be a cracking 60th, actually.
Cool. They might even do it properly this time.
Yeah.
Get some of the classic Doctors who are still alive to participate properly.
It would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, because as much as we haven't reviewed that yet, so we're going to have to be careful with that one, Day of the Doctor, because as much as, when have we got, I'm sure we've got that on our list for so the first week of January next year, we have that down for our review.
Yeah.
So I won't say too much, but one thing that did irk me a little bit was none of the classic Doctors were in it. They did that little spin-off, didn't they? The 5 Doctors-ish.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Which was great, don't get me wrong, but as a 50-year celebration of Doctor Who, yeah, they should have had a part to play in it. Not necessarily a star, not like overtaking the story away, taking it away from the newer Doctors, but they could have had cameos in there quite easily.
Yeah, I'm not going to say too much because I've got a lot to say when we do get around to reviewing Day of the Doctor. A lot of thoughts on that particular special. But yeah, no, I mean, it would be, I always think of something like that, you should try and involve them. But that thing that Peter Davison did, the 5 Doctors, was just brilliant. The amount of people he managed to get in it as well. It's weird, actually, because I was going to watch that as part of the Doctor Who Day. So I'd got a few things in mind that I was going to watch for Doctor Who Day, and that was one of them. But I didn't actually get time to fit it in. Actually, I may as well just, while we're talking about that stuff, I may as well just tell you what I've been doing this week because it kind of fits in with it. So basically for Doctor Who Day, I decided I was going to watch An Earthly Child. I thought that's an obvious one, and I thought I'll just watch the first part. It's such an amazing piece of television, and then I'll watch the 5 Doctors. So I've got 2 absolute banging stories. I was thinking I should have something from the new era. I thought I should start with An Earthly Child and then have something from the new era, but I just really fancied something fun. Although I've seen it a million times, I just really felt like they would go together nicely, and they did. And then after the 5 Doctors, I was going to watch the 5-ish Doctors or whatever, but I just didn't get around to it. And the reason for that is that when I put in An Earthly Child, I remembered that it's got the pilot on there, and I thought, actually, before I watch the proper one, I'll watch the pilot first, because it's always lovely to see how they differ. And I'd forgotten that you actually get, not only do you get like the pilot, but you get 2 alternative takes of the second half of the story. And I tell you what, I was just in heaven, because I haven't watched them for a while, and it is so good, the pilot. I mean, the TARDIS looks all clean and bright, and when Barbara bursts through the door, she goes from the TARDIS outside into the interior, and it's done really well. And there's so many differences between that and when you get to the one that was transmitted, the TARDIS prop's been dragged back in. It's all dirty. They didn't really have time to set that shot of Barbara coming into the TARDIS up properly, so there's just like a savage cut, and the music's slightly different as well at the start. It's got this awesome explosion sound effect, which I love. I really wish they'd kept that. So there's loads of little differences between the pilot and the one that they've transmitted. And Hartnell's Doctor's much more savage. He's really quite harsh in certain scenes. They softened him a little bit when they refilmed it for the transmitted version. So he's really quite rough in certain scenes. And it's just brilliant. I'm just so glad that we've got those episodes survive, that they kept the pilots, because obviously so much of Doctor Who is lost. But the fact they've still got the pilot and the untransmitted versions of the scenes is amazing to see. Absolutely. So I actually watched all of that, then the transmitted version of Unearthly Child, and then the Five Doctors, and that was pretty much my night done, really. So it was a cracking way to spend Doctor Who Day. Obviously, I was on Twitter loads, seeing what everyone else was doing. There was a lot of excitement about people were convinced we were going to get a trailer. Because the BBC did. Yeah, the BBC did a watch along of Timeless Child, and I think people thought they'd picked the episode because it would lead into the trailer, which is a natural. You'd think, yeah, that makes sense, but no. We got a literally 3-second teaser, which we'll talk about later. But I didn't do the tweet along. I've checked in to see how people were spending Doctor Who Day, and I saw quite a few people doing that. But no, I didn't bother with that. I was much happier just watching my little selection of Doctor Who, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's lovely to see. I was worried because they'd picked the Timeless Child as the watch along. I thought, oh God, is Twitter going to turn into a war? Is there going to be a Twitter war between the fans? But no, it seemed quite civil, actually. A lot of positive comments from what I was seeing anyway. I mean, unless I missed something. But it was really nice to see. There was a lot of positivity from what I saw, which was really good. A lot of people saying, oh, I didn't like this episode when it aired, but actually this is really good, and Sasha's amazing, and Jodie's really good in this bit. And, there was a couple of comments, obviously, about the whole retconning and stuff. But it was, it was fairly positive from what I saw. So I had quite a good Doctor Who Day. Yeah. The only other thing I've done, not really done, but I did manage to get that Dalek bookazine.
Oh, I saw, yes. Very good.
It's fantastic. It really is. It is beautiful. Like, it's even better than I was expecting. It's it's really, really nice. So I was really chuffed to get that. They added some more to the Panini website, and I got it, and it arrived pretty quick, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad. Really, I can see why you were dribbling all over it, because it's a really nice thing to have that.
It is.
So so I've been flicking through that and reading through that.
Cool.
But that's been me, really. Yeah. So I had a really good Doctor Who Day. Did you check in and what did you do on Doctor Who Day?
Yeah, I did. I didn't do the watch along.
Nah.
For Timeless Child. For a couple of reasons, really. One, I don't want to rake up old graves. Yeah. I don't want to get back into that thing again. No. And secondly, I just didn't want to see Doctor Who fandom descend into the vortex of toxicity and all that stuff. But like you, I did notice that it wasn't too bad, to be fair. I did see the odd tweet where people were very vocally saying, describing their displeasure at the Timeless Child and everything like that. But on the whole, like you said, it was fairly positive, which is good. So I didn't do that. But for Doctor Who Day, I watched the same two stories that I always watch. I seem to have settled into this routine and this pattern, which is weird. I can't seem to break it. So I watch an Unearthly Child and Rose. So I always watch those two. Yeah. I don't know why. I just seem to have got into a...
Well, no, it's just a good... I can see that. It's like Rose kicked off the Doctor Who when it came back. So, it makes sense.
Yeah. Sounds good. And I love an Unearthly Child. It's such a great...
It is an incredible piece of television, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I was going to say, it has a different feeling to all the other classic, especially Classic Who, and even the rest of the Hartnell stories. I think because it's definitely a psychological thing, because it's the first one. It just seems to have a sort of magic feel to it, if that makes sense. It has it just has a feel to it that... If it wasn't the first one, I probably wouldn't feel that way. I don't know. It's like that sense of history, like a very important milestone in television and science fiction television, and obviously Doctor Who. It just sort of elevates it to this kind of status. It's very, I don't know, it just feels magical to me, an Unearthly Child. I love it.
It definitely has got its magic. When I watch it as well, I think it's so funny. Someone pointed out ages ago that the sort of premise of it is to see Ian and Barbara have seen the ship, the TARDIS, and so he can't possibly let them leave now. They know too much. And yet it's quite funny when you sort of fast forward to to later in the series, and the Doctor's inviting every Tom, Dick, and Harry into the TARDIS, like in Black Orchid. He's like, "Oh, come and have a look at this." The Doctor sort of did ease up in his later regenerations, but no, it is a superb piece of television. I was going to say the other thing that I was considering watching was obviously An Adventure in Space and Time, which is another fantastic piece of television. But I thought, well, it's not that long ago I rewatched that, so that was my other consideration. But you just made me think as well, if you were sort of putting 2 episodes together, An Earthly Child also leads very nicely into Remembrance of the Daleks, doesn't it? Because he goes back to Totter's Lane and all that stuff. So there's a good link there as well. Maybe I'll do that for the birthday next year. Just always An Earthly Child, but then something else after it,
Yeah, always the same. Always Series 1, Episode 1, sure. And then I'm going to have to break this cycle. I might have to ditch Rose next year. Or, actually, no, a better option would be to keep Rose and also watch Remembrance.
Yeah.
And An Earthly Child, Remembrance, Rose.
That's a cracking combination.
Yes.
Excellent. So I haven't really done much else this week, but it has been nice. It's been lovely to see fandom come together to celebrate Doctor Who, wasn't
it?
Yeah. But we didn't get a trailer. I must admit, part of me thought we might, but I also felt like, nah, we won't. But
yes,
can't be long. Christmas is just around the corner.
I was going to say it's we're literally on the cusp of thundering into December.
Yeah,
we've got literally a few days. We've got 5 days left, and then we're into December. Now, assuming that we're not going to get a Christmas special, because the powers that be at the BBC just seem to want to wreck everybody's Christmas by not giving us Doctor Who on Christmas Day. I'm not going to go into that. Let's just assume that it's going to be on New Year's Eve, but they're wrapping it up in it's a festive special. We need to have a word with someone, mate, about this.
It's got to. I think someone said it will have to be confirmed by next week because why was it? They said, is it something to do with the Christmas mags that start coming out?
Yes.
So they have to announce the schedule. So I've got a feeling by next week, the next time we record, we should know for sure. My only inkling is that it might be Christmas Day because they might not have got anything else ready to go. Because Revolution is Revolution, and I keep getting confused.
It is.
Is that the new one? Yeah. Because that was filmed so long ago, and it's in the can ready, and then obviously COVID's kicked in, and a lot of shows like EastEnders. Sorry, how anybody can watch that on Christopher. A lot of shows haven't been able to film. So they're probably thinking, they're panicking, what can we show? Like, what have we got ready to go? So maybe it's one of the few things they've actually got complete, ready to show. So it might be Christmas. Because do you remember, there was a time back in the day when they would always show Star Wars on Christmas Day? I remember...
That was ITV, though.
Oh, was it ITV?
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been, yeah. Because I just remember for about 4 or 5 years running, Christmas Day, Star Wars is on. It was always on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, obviously, they lost the rights to show it or whatever. I don't know. But...
Yeah, that's one of my earliest memories of science fiction, dude. When I was a wee nipper, the very first film that I remember watching it was actually Boxing Day. It was The Empire Strikes Back on Boxing Day back in 1986, I think. Wow, that makes me sound bloody old.
But they were, you know what I mean, don't you? They were always on at that Christmas time of year. The Star Wars films were on. It was kind of like a thing for a couple of years running.
Yeah, it was.
Obviously things change.
Yeah. I don't know about this, mate.
Call the Midwife, have they been able to film? What else do the BBC love at Christmas?
Well, I don't know.
Mrs. Brown Boys, I expect that'll be on. I expect they found a way to do that.
Yeah, probably. They normally drag out stuff, though. Like if the schedule's not... We normally get like
Dad's
a mixture
Army,
of like
Special.
oldie, worldy stuff, don't we? And I don't know, what is it normally, like Watership Down during the day? And,
horror.
I don't know, some Roald Dahl film probably, and then...
there'll be a David Williams book adaptation, won't there, for sure?
There'll be something, like The Borrowers will come back or something, or...
Yeah.
I don't know, but...
But then if they show that Christmas Day, they've got nothing for New Year's Day, have they?
That's what I was going to say. If
James Bond.
To flip it on its head, they do that in Crimbo. There's nothing for New Year. Because, let's face it, depending on how well you obey the rules around lockdown, they're going to be eased a little bit, aren't they, this year? So the audience might not be there to watch Doctor Who on New Year's Eve. Everybody will be out making the most of the eased restrictions. So
yes.
I don't know. But there must be somebody at the Beeb we can go and have a meeting with. And just say, no, we're not being funny, right? But we need to knock this on the head, the whole festive thing.
Well, Chibbers doesn't leave his house, so we can't go and have a chat with him. I mean, the Moth, in the days of the Moth, we'd just drift down the pub and be like, oi, Stephen, get him a bottle of red now, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
But, you know, those days are gone.
Yeah. We'll just have to ambush Chibbers. I'm saying this absolutely not seriously, by the way. I don't want anybody to think that we're stalking Chibbers or we're going to make any kind of advancement. Not at all. This is in jest, but...
We are.
Yeah.
He's twitching curtain blinds outside his house.
Well, as he's taking the bins out, we'll go and we'll go and push him over so he can't go anywhere. Then we'll talk to him.
Yeah.
We'll say, look, mate, you're taking the mick, and it's time to stop. Get it on Christmas Day, yeah.
Which would you prefer, Christmas Day or New Year's Day?
Crimbo, defo.
Crimbo.
Gives you a nice warm feeling. You've had your dinner, pigged out on massive Christmas dinner. Then you settle down with a nice, depending on your tipple, a nice cup of tea or a nice brandy or something, or a nice beer. Yes. And then just settle down in the sofa, watch a bit of Doctor Who and have a little nap after.
That does sound good.
Sounds great. Alas, we won't find out until... that's bloody Boris Johnson, that is. Every time I watch his announcements and everything, he uses that word so much, and now I've got into the habit of using it. I need to stop. No more alas. Right. That's what we've been up to. We hope you guys did something cool for Doctor Who Day. Tweet us, let us know what you did. It'd be interesting to find out what episodes you watch, because it's kind of... This feels like a very similar conversation to when you talk to people about what order they watch the Star Wars films in. Get a lot of conversation around that. So let us know what you watch on Doctor Who Day. Classic, modern, what order, all that stuff. That'd be interesting. But before we crack on with the rest of the show, we've got one bit of news, which Adam said. 3 seconds of video footage. We're going to string this out. We'll talk about it for a few minutes. And then we've got some cool, very cool merch to talk through. And then we're on to our review of Torchwood. Adam.
Yes, hello.
Yes. Before we get on to all that, though, remember to subscribe to our podcast. However you listen to your podcast, whatever app, just do a search for us. You'll find us on there. Or if you want to listen in your browser, just head over to bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. All of our episodes are over there. And if you've got a minute to leave a review on something like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Stitcher, anything like that, that'd be awesome, because that helps us out loads and loads. We are on the socials too, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. And we have a free Discord server as well. There are links to all of those things on the website. Come and get involved, give us a like and a follow, join the Discord, come and chat. Lots of Doctor Who over there. And on the website, we've got loads of cool articles that go out from our writing team each and every week. Some great stuff over there. We did a review recently of The War Master, Series 5 from Big Finish, Hearts of Darkness. We reviewed that. That's up there. We also did the short trips, the Master One, the Master Thief, and Lesser Evils. And our writer, Jordan, has these really cool reviews where he goes back and digs out the really old, the Great Virgin Adventure books from years ago and reviews those. So we've got the recent ones for those. Consuming Fire and Blood Harvest, which is a McCoy story. So loads of really cool articles and reviews from our team over there. And also, remember to check out my co-host channel, his YouTube channel. It's The Geek's Handbag.
Yes, I'm a YouTuber, aren't I?
Of course he is.
Well, I'm a part-time YouTuber. I don't really get the time to do many bits, but there is some good stuff. Go and have a look.
On Adam's CV, it does say content creator.
Yeah.
Take that as you will. Yeah. So do you have any experience doing video production and stuff? Well, yeah. I'm a part-time YouTuber, of course. So go and check out Adam's channel over on YouTube, and then he's on the socials too, under the same name, The Geek's Handbag.
Oh, and those I'm on 24/7. Can't get me off those.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
full-time.
not going to say you'll regret adding him, but just find out for yourself. Rightio, let's land it and do this bit of news that we've got.
Yeah.
Captain Jack.
Captain Jack. He's back, is he?
He is back, mate.
You're kidding.
Not joking.
Wow.
You know that thing that we all said was going to happen is happening.
Yeah, it's happened.
Yeah.
Even Chibnall didn't manage to keep that under his belt.
Yeah.
Cat's out the bag.
Indeedy. And once the Jack is out the bag, you can't put Jack back in the bag.
No.
That's the thing. So the BBC has revealed that Captain Jack, played by John Barrowman. Is it John Barrowman MBE? It is, isn't it? Yes.
I think it is.
Yeah. He will return in the quote-unquote ridiculous title, Festive Special. Revolution of the Daleks. Described as one of the most loved characters in a Doctor Who universe, Captain Jack was last seen in the Series 12 episode, Fugitive of the Jadoon. And we knew that after we saw that, he was going to come back.
We thought it.
Yeah.
It's gonna...
So we got a little trailer. Actually, no, we didn't get a trailer. We got a very, very short teaser of Captain Jack in the TARDIS. Massive grin on his face. Loving the fact that he can hear the TARDIS engines and everything cracking away. He's over the moon. And that's all we got. We got nothing else about the story, anything like that. It was just Captain Jack, John Barrowman's big old face, saying how much he loved it. So we had the BBC rounded up the people relevant to the story to give us a thought on this 3-second clip. And John Barrowman himself said, putting on Jack's coat and setting foot back on the set of Doctor Who was just like going back home. It's always thrilling to play Captain Jack. He's a character very close to my heart and changed my life. And to know fans love him as much as I do makes the return even sweeter. I hope everyone enjoys Captain Jack's heroic adventure with 13. And I actually believe him word for word, dude. I know.
Yeah.
We all know that he loves the character of Captain Jack. He loved Torchwood. Various attempts by him to get the show back, get himself back on the screen. So I believe him when he says it.
I bet he's been bursting to tell everyone. I mean, he keeps hinting on Twitter. I bet he couldn't wait for this to be announced. He is so passionate about the show, John, isn't he? So, yeah, like you, normally you just think, a bit of spiel that someone's told them to say or put words in the mouth. You can just tell that he absolutely loves this character. And that's definitely from the heart from John. Yeah.
Defo, yeah. And then the Chibinator goes on to say, a Doctor Who Festive Special means treats galore, and there's no bigger treat than the return of John Barrowman to Doctor Who for an epic and emotional feature-length episode. If anyone can blast away the sheer rubbishness of 2020, it's Captain Jack. Daleks beware. And Matt Strevens, the exec producer, says after a tantalisingly brief appearance in Fugitive of the Jadoon in a total joy and thrill. It's a total joy and thrill to welcome back John as Captain Jack, one of the first iconic characters in Doctor Who lore. His presence ignites this festive special from the start. Matt Strevens on first name terms with John Barrowman.
Old buddies.
Of course, yeah. So there we go, dude. Tiny little clip showing Captain Jack, and we've got some cool. We got a new poster artwork for the episode as well, showing a very, very I don't know how to explain the expression on Jodie Whittaker's face in this, because we know that the storyline that's going to kick off the episode is she's in some kind of space prison somewhere, so she's got her prison garms on, but she doesn't look too miffed, if I'm honest.
No, I've got to say, I love this poster.
It's great, isn't it?
Good. Yeah, I'm glad you like it, because I saw a few people. I know that we shouldn't be surprised, but I saw a few people saying it looked a bit rubbish, and I was thinking, really? I think it's gorgeous. Like they were comparing this to the last Dalek special. I can't remember what it's called. The other one, Resolution, wasn't it? Too many R's. So yeah, they were comparing the two, saying what's happened to the quality of Doctor Who posters. I was thinking, I think this is I don't know who's done the artwork, but I absolutely love it. I think it looks great. As for the teaser, so obviously there was rumour we might get a trailer after they finished the tweet along to Timeless Child. So at 8:00 when I knew it was going to finish, I thought I'll just keep an eye on the socials in case there's a trailer. You never know. And the TV was on. We had the TV on, and it got to 8 o'clock and I saw Jack's face appear on TV and I was like, oh my God, here it is, trailer. And then it's finished in like those 5 seconds. I was like, oh, is that it? So it was like a momentous bit of excitement for like those 2 seconds, thinking, oh my God, there is a trailer. Oh no, it's just a teaser. It was such a massive countdown. But after I got over that initial sort of shock of, oh, is that it? It is great. I mean, I'm glad he's back. I think the poster looks good. It does give me a bit of excitement. I think him and 13 are going to be, because they didn't get to meet in Fugitive. And I think that's why we all thought, well, he's got to come back. There's no way they're going to bring Jack back and not have him meet 13. So I am looking forward to seeing those two together. I think there's a possibility they could work really well. I'm slightly worried about our the fam, though, because that is going to be a crowded special. I hope they all get something to do. Because I just keep thinking of that promo of them sat around the table looking bored. I'm thinking, God, I hope they get some something to do. Because I think Jack and 13 would be great together.
Yes, I reckon so. I think this could be a very cool, episode. Let's see how much carryover we have from the finale of Series 12.
Yeah.
In terms of the Timeless Child thing. Let's see how much we get that. If they ignore that for now, aka forever, then this could be just like a really cool, like fun adventure. If you can imagine, not just Captain Jack interacting with Jodie's doctor, but his interactions, especially with people like Graham and stuff. It could be really funny and could be really cool. Yeah, there's
definitely a lot of potential here, isn't there? I think it's good. Yeah, I don't think they should. I think this special should totally, shouldn't even delve into the Timeless Children thing. Leave that for Series 13 if they really want to go down that route. But no, I'm hoping this will just to be a standalone, really fun sort of episode with those guys. Because, like you said, a lot of potential with him and Graham and 13 and stuff. I'm just wondering if they really had to prize this out of Chibnall's hands. It's like, Chris, we need something. Just give us something. He's like, you're not having a trailer. Well, what can we have? Yeah. Well, after this Captain Jack, everyone already knows it. Because, I mean, he probably wants to keep it as an absolute surprise like he normally does, which is fair enough. But, yeah, I bet they had to prize it out of his hands just to get that little clip. But it is exciting.
It is exciting, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's the teaser that dropped for the Festive Special of Doctor Who.
He's so going to burst in and get 13 out of jail, though, isn't he?
Of course, yeah.
I mean, that's just, it's got to be.
Yeah.
He's going to use that gun. That's the gun he has in Empty Child, isn't it?
The portal
one that does.
gun.
What was it do? Yeah, the portal gun.
Yeah, I think so.
He'll probably use that to get around.
Yeah. Right, that's news. Let's move on to some merch, dude. Let's see what we got.
Oh, yes.
Merch corner. Merch corner. Merch corner.
It's a bit rubbish, but it's pretty. It's very pretty.
Well, there you are, young man. What do you think of that now, eh? A Viking helmet.
I know, it's on the telly. It's everywhere.
I don't know whether to be impressed or disgusted.
I work in a shop now, here to help.
We had some great news land last night, buddy.
It certainly is pretty.
It is pretty. Yep. For weeks now. No, for months now, we've been saying, what's happening with these classic Blu-ray collections? We've not seen head nor tail of any of them for months and months, most of the year. And then boom, last night out the blue, one of them lands and just strolls in like nobody's been talking about it.
Yeah.
No fanfare, no announcement, nothing. It's just, oh, here's the next one. So I had to say thank you to a couple of people because last night I couldn't sleep very well anyway, and had a message pop up from our good friend Matt over at the Who Addicts. He was like, Gary, you need to get on this immediately. You know what they're like, they sell out. I was like, oh, cool. Thank you so much. And he was like, well, it came from another good friend of ours, Adam. I think his Twitter name's different now. I think it's a man of film, I think.
Yeah.
He used to be the Ultimate Whovian, didn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, our good friend Adam as well. So thank you to you guys for giving the heads up on this one. It's still available now, so don't worry. This is Doctor Who, The Collection, Season 8 on Blu-ray. This is the John Pertwee season from from back in the day. It's got some cracking stories on here. So we've got Terror of the Autons, The Mind of Evil, The Claws of Axos, Colony in Space, and The Daemons. So a cracking series from the Pertwee era. Very, very cool. You can get these from Amazon and Zoom and probably a few other places, but they're the two main ones. And they're both available still. They haven't sold out yet. I got mine from zoom.co.uk. I normally get mine from there. They're very good with delivery, typically. And at the moment, they are priced at $44.99. Do they usually go for that, or do they come down to 40? Or is it 45?
They've generally been $39.99, haven't they?
Yes.
So it might come down. I don't think it'll go down much lower than that. But yeah, they're normally around the £40 mark. So
yeah. So at the moment, £45, but it might come down a little bit, potentially. The only thing we're not sure on yet is the release date for these. We don't know when these are going to drop. So if you go onto Zoom or Amazon or any other site, I think sometimes Zavi have these. And also, you might know, mate, do HMV get these in?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yep. So there's a few places. So if Amazon sells out, and let's just be clear, these will sell out. Definitely. Every single set that's been out thus far, they've always been active, and you can pre-order them. I think they last for about 2 or 3 days normally, or maybe 4 days. And then you'll see each website just drying up of stock and stuff. So we're recording this on Wednesday, the 25th. So if you guys listen to this on launch day, the 27th, hopefully there's still some stock around. There should be if you jump straight on it. And those of you that have jumped on it, then fair dues and good for pre-ordering those before they sell out. So a really good one, dude. A really good one to add to the collection.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this. I mean, the artwork, absolutely beautiful. This just set looks stunning. Absolutely stunning. I can't wait to see the actual thing in hand. A great season, like you said as well. Lovely to have more Pertwee. I know season 20 was rumoured for ages, wasn't it? That seemed to get dropped. Season 20, not. Yeah, I'm much happier to have this. I mean, eventually, I'm happy to have any Blu-ray set they want to release any season, but this is a great one. Be interested. I'm looking at Terror of the Autons, a story that I really like, but because it was junked by the BBC, I know the existing sort of copy of it they've got, and they've had to colour it in. It's not great. I don't know how that's going to look on Blu-ray. I'm sure they'll do the best they can to upscale it, but I'm a little bit worried about the picture quality. But what a season to have. I genuinely can't wait for this. No release date, like you said. It's weird, isn't it? It's as if the BBC have right, let's get the news out there, let's get the pre-orders, and be interested to see when it actually lands. But I think it was rumoured to be February, and I think that's just based on it might be the anniversary of that season or something. But anyway, whenever it comes out, great news. So get your pre-orders in. Don't miss out on this. It looks beautiful.
It does indeed. Yeah.
Bok on Blu-ray. Right, moving on. Something else that looks gorgeous. Lee Binding's been a busy chap, hasn't he? So he's done the artwork for that. I believe he's done the artwork for this next item, which is the 50th anniversary special steelbook. I think that's Lee Binding's done that. Yeah, pretty sure it is. So this is a 4-disc set, limited edition. It's got over 7 hours of extras. It looks really gorgeous, and it does feature the name of the Doctor, the night of the Doctor, the day of the Doctor, the time of the Doctor, and I think this is brilliant, an adventure in space and time. So for those of you that still haven't managed to get that on Blu-ray, you can finally own it in this gorgeous steelbook. As I said, got lots of extras on there. There's a whole list. I'm not going to go through them all now, but it does also feature the 5-ish Doctors that we were talking about earlier. Beautiful steelbook. I've absolutely no doubt you'll be getting this, won't you?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, this is it's such a nice set, and it's cool that it's consistent with the other steelbooks that Lee's done as well in terms of the cover art and stuff. It looks very cool, and this one, I think, like with the other steelbooks, in my opinion, there wasn't really much need to get them if you already owned those series like multiple times on DVD and Blu-ray. But if you haven't got this set yet, for the price, this is a really good value because there's so many extras and stuff packed in. If you think about some other steelbooks, which are round about the same prices. I know they were a whole series, but there just doesn't seem like they've jam-packed it with as many features and so on. So this looks very cool. Like the amount of stuff, like the extra episodes you're getting as well, like you just said, all of the insert something here of the Doctor, all of those variations and just loads of extras, man. It just looks like a really decent set for the money. So it's £28 on Amazon at the minute. What's it on Zoom? Probably the same. And 28 quid. And this is coming. Do we know when this has been delivered yet?
No, this is another one where the BBC just haven't given an official date yet. So, I mean, presumably they're not too far off if they're announcing them. But yeah, there's no date on this yet, unfortunately. But yeah, it looks amazing. It looks lovely, doesn't it?
It does do. Yeah, so that's coming at some point early next year, hopefully. I can't imagine it'll be next month, December, because they would have announced. I think they would have had a date on it already by now. So so this one and the Series 8 Blu-ray collection set probably at some point early next year. But that's not all.
No, there's more.
There's more. One more thing. We do have more stories, steelbooks, blah, 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 on the way. So this is the new edition of The Web of Fear, which is coming very soon indeed. So this is all the 5 surviving live action episodes are on here, and they've now done a new fully animated version of the 6th episode, which was the missing one. So they only had the audio recordings for that one. So now they've done a brand new full colour animated version of episode 6.
I think it's episode 3, mate. I know it says 6 on there, but I'm sure it's episode 3.
Is it 3? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it does say 6 on the thing. I think they've got that wrong. I'm sure it's episode 3.
Yeah. It's 3. Sorry, yeah. You are correct. Yes. So that's going to be cool. And then we've got some extras on here as well. So on the first disc, as well as that new animated version that completes the serial, you've got the a commentary on episode 1, Lost in Time. You've got new commentary episodes for episodes 2, 3 to 6 with Toby Haydock, which is going to be good. We've got a new 5.1 audio mix and all that stuff. And then on disc 2, we've got the making of documentary for the original stuff, as we've seen before. We've got a new making of for the animation, which is going to be cool. We've got a documentary around the Great Intelligence. We've got a documentary around the Yetis. We've got Now and Then, the locations of Web of Fear. We've got new interviews. We've got new audio archives, and from interviews from the archives, reports and articles, trailers, loads of stuff. This is going to be cool. So this one is, if you want the steelbook, and the artwork hasn't been confirmed for that yet, but if you want the steelbook, that is 30 quid. If you want the DVD, that's 15 quid, and the Blu-ray is 20 quid. And we do have a date for these. These are out not until 2022.
What?
According to Amazon. Is that correct?
Wow.
Let me have a look.
It does say that. That's the first time I've seen that date given. 1st of June 2022.
Yeah, the release date is to be confirmed over on Zoom. I think they've got that wrong. I think this is next year at some point.
I hope so.
Yeah. But this, again, sounds like another solid release here, dude. I assume you're going to pick this up?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the artwork for the steelbook when it's revealed. Yeah, I'll definitely get it. I think it's nice. It'd be nice to have this an animated version rather than is it telesnaps on the DVD? Must be, I guess. Can't remember now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. The little teaser trailer they did for It's Lovely. So there was a piece that Troughton did to camera that they've back in the day, and they've done a little animation for that using the audio, and it's really nice. So this is obviously the sort of style of animation they're going to go for, I assume. Saw some people criticising it. I think the animation looks pretty decent in this little teaser. Myself, I thought it looked pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad at all.
No. I'll tell you what is, I'm guessing they're trying to complete these so that they can get the Blu-ray sets out in the future so that they've got complete stories on the Blu-ray set. So I'm all for that because I'd much rather animation than telesnaps. So I struggle with those. But interestingly, Philip Morris, who discovered this missing story, has had a few things to say about it on Twitter. You're probably thinking, how do you know he's blocked you? I know he's blocked me, but I have my ways. He's confirmed that when he found the prints for the Web of Fear, all 6 episodes were there. He says he doesn't know what happened to episode 3. It's rumoured that it's in the hands of a collector somewhere who's refusing to return it. But Philip Morris has basically confirmed that he found all 6 episodes. And so that really suggests that it's out there somewhere, which is quite frustrating, isn't it? So we've got, why just take that one episode? Like who has got that and why have they got it? Why don't they just return it so we can have the complete thing and watch it? But if they're not going to do that, this is the next best thing. And I think it's a nice release, but it's quite frustrating, isn't it, to think that.
It is, mate. Yeah, especially if I'm not saying the animation is a bad thing to do, but it's not cheap to have these episodes animated at all. Yeah. So if somebody out there has got they've actually got it live action somewhere, then we'd obviously prefer that. So it is frustrating, mate. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, really.
It's been heavily rumoured for a while, but yeah, he tweeted yesterday and said, I can confirm that all 6 episodes were there. I saw them. What did he say? I checked them myself with my own hands, I think he said. I checked each episode with my own hands. I can confirm all 6 were discovered. And what happened to it is history or something. But, he can be quite cryptic with his tweets.
Yeah, mate.
So it sounds like it's out there. Somebody's got it. What a shame. But yeah, not to take away that. I like the fact that BBC just like, okay, well, we'll just do our own thing then. But it does. You can look at it 2 ways. It does give hope that in the future we might get to see it complete one day. Who knows? But if not, this will do till then.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to the BBC from that respect, not being held ransom. I'm assuming that the person who does have this in their possession is asking for quite a chunk of money for it. So fair play to the BBC that are like, well, no, we'll just happily animate this one missing episode. We've got all the rest, so we'll crack on.
Yeah, I can't remember who it is. Someone else who's involved in the restoration team said, he's aware of missing episodes in private collectors' hands, and I think a lot of it, he said it's more the fact they would just want to own it. It's not even a case of they're trying to sell them to the BBC for lots of money. They have no interest in giving them up. It's like a prized possession, which just seems really selfish. Like, give them a copy. You don't have to give them it. Just say, you can borrow it, but I want it back. I don't know. Or is it the BBC property? Who knows how these things work? But it's frustrating to think there are episodes out there that fans, that we may never see just because someone wants to keep it in their drawer at home.
That is weird, mate. Yeah, like if somebody knocked at the door today and said, I live down the road. I know we've spoken like a couple of times. I know you're a big Doctor Who fan. I found all this junk in the garage. Here you go. I looked through it and I had a complete collection of like 16mm film or cassette tapes from back in the day that had these episodes on there. Of course, I'd want to keep them, but I certainly wouldn't withhold them completely. Like, if I'd absolutely go to the BBC and say, look, I've got these. You can have them on loan, whatever, or take them, do what you want, get the restoration done. That'd be fine. I can't understand the mindset of somebody that would want to keep them locked away. I don't know. It just seems weird to me.
It is, mate. I mean, say what you like about Ian Levine, and he's a character in his own right, but he did at least return, or at least he did save quite a lot of archive material and episodes that would have otherwise been junked. So at least, he did the right thing there. So I don't get it either. It's frustrating, but there you go. But then I suppose, as I said, the other way of looking at it is at least you think, well, they are out there. So there's always that chance that they will somehow make their way back to the BBC.
Yeah. We need some kind of task force on it. We need... I
think Philip Morris thinks he is the task force, doesn't he?
Well, let's not get into that. But I think, anyone that's watched those reality programs, SAS, Who Dares Wins with Ant Middleton and those guys, just give them the assignment. Like, whatever means necessary. Just do what you got to do. Get them back. I'm sure we'll get them back.
Yeah.
There might be a few black eyes and a few broken kneecaps here and there, but we've got them.
It would be nice.
So the Web of Fear. Is it the Web of Fear or just Web of Fear? Can't remember.
Oh, wow. There you go.
I think it's the Web of Fear. It's coming out at some point. Amazon reckons it's 2022. We say next year. We shall see. So that's all of the news and merch. It's review time, Bud. What we got?
Oh, yeah, review time. So this week, Torchwood episode called Adam.
We had rift activity 2 days ago, but nothing seems to have come through.
What the hell is this?
Memory is a very delicate thing.
You have picked the wrong girl to stalk, mate.
I killed 3 girls, and it felt so good. Would you die for me?
Yes.
What are you? How did you come here? I'm the one you can confide in, remember?
I buried the memory over 150 years ago. I can't afford to remember.
And you always remember what you killed, don't you, Jack?
A monster.
Drop the gun, Jack!
Oh, dear. All kicked off for a minute, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Between the Torchwood peeps. Yeah.
Well, that's all happening.
Yeah. Right, Adam.
Yes, hello.
It's going to be weird, isn't it, going through this? Adam was first broadcast back on the 13th of February, 2008. A nice Valentine's weekend episode to watch. It was written by Catherine Tregenna, directed by Andy Goddard. Stars the usual Series 2 Torchwood Hub team with a few supporting cast members that pop up throughout. Obviously, the guy playing Adam, Brian Dick, and then some other people who play Jack's family from his flashback scenes. And the story is, for this one, an alien with the power to change memories has infiltrated the Torchwood team, with Captain Jack caught up in memories of his lost family and Gwen struggling to remember Reese. It takes Jack's love of Yanto to reveal the truth. Yet there's always a price to pay. So, Adam, what did you think of Adam?
Well, when we saw the trailer for this, the Next Time trailer on the last episode we reviewed, I remember thinking, God, that looks rubbish. And I didn't remember anything about the episode at all. And it's, it's a cool title, obviously, Adam. But yeah, I wasn't expecting a lot from this. I'll be honest with you. I just thought, well, okay, I wasn't really that excited to put it on. But I thought, right, let's get that old Torchwood on. And this was a very pleasant surprise. I was into the story almost straight away. I really liked the way it started with him already part of the Torchwood team. And sort of Gwen coming in and being like, who's this guy? Because you sort of almost, she's like playing the part of the viewer thinking, yeah, who is this guy? Like, where's he suddenly come from? Yeah, I thought this was a really good concept. I was genuinely quite surprised how much I enjoyed this. Maybe because I just thought it was going to be another filler episode. But yeah, it was good. I love the way that he infiltrated the Torchwood hub. It was very easy to follow. The flashback stuff with Jack was brilliant. So well filmed. The direction by Adam Goddard was great. Reminded me of a sort of Star Wars-y type thing, like the clothes they were wearing, the sandy beach, the funny shaped building in the background. I was loving all that, all the flashback stuff. So yeah, I'm surprised that I didn't remember more about this episode from when I first watched it, because it was quite. I was going to say epic. In a way, it's a small scale story because it's just very, very simple. All about this guy sort of using this memory trick to trick people to thinking he's been in Torchwood for all this time. And only over a couple of days, as it turns out. I thought he'd been there for ages when it first started. But all the other stuff going on in between, I just thought was really interesting. I was very intrigued by Jack's storyline about this flashback to him and his brother as kids. And I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure we get to see some more of that. I thought Brian Dick as Adam played the part brilliantly. Like, he was so sort of humorously dark in the way he played it. You know, so smug that you kind of love. He was kind of that character you love to hate. You're like, oh man, he's really loving himself at the minute, and I thought he played the part brilliantly. Poor old Tosh. Another heartbreak for Tosh. You had Owen giving the humorous stuff, being all geeky, and yeah, I just was really, really enjoyed this episode. I was quite surprised, to be honest. Just wasn't expecting a lot from it. I just thought it was a nice, simple story, but it had a lot going on, and it looked great. It visually, I loved all the stuff on Jack's. Well, wherever it was meant to be, Jack's the flashback. I love all that stuff. Just thought it looked visually amazing for the time.
The Beauchene Peninsula.
That's the one. Yeah, no, it's great. I thought it was really good. Really good story. I liked it a lot. And a satisfying ending, because I thought, how are they going to tie this up? I was worried it was going to be one of those where it had a rushed conclusion and was a bit naff, but I thought the ending was quite good. If a little cheesy, there was a bit where they were all around the table and Jack was giving them the memory pill, and that was a little bit cheesy. I will have to knock a little half point off of that, where he's like, I'm here to save you, and doing all that bit. That took a little bit of a, oh dear, but that side I thought was very good. So what did you think?
Yeah, I had a similar vibe to you, mate. I thought, I thought this was actually a pretty good Torchwood story. Pretty good, indeedy. I liked the thing that I think makes this one a really good watch is it's not really about aliens and saving the world and saving Cardiff. This is more like an emotion. We have had a few episodes since we've gone through Torchwood, haven't we, where we have these kind of inward, it's all about the team sort of stories, and not so much about any sort of alien threat. And although Adam obviously is an alien, and he is a threat to a degree, from his point of view, he's only doing this because he wants to survive. If people forget him and he can't infiltrate anyone's memories, then he's off, isn't he? He can't survive unless you remember who he is, or what it is, I think is the gist of what he's about. So he's not really like a threat, is he? He hasn't got like these grand plans to take over the world or destroy the human race or anything like that. It's more of he just wants to integrate himself into the team, and that's it. He just wants to exist as part of the team because that's how he survives. So that was kind of cool. And then it was more about the emotional impact of how these things happen between each team member, each person of Torch. But it was very cool that the side effects as well, which created a sort of side story, I suppose. You know, when he implants his memories into Gwen and as a side effect.
Reese.
Yeah, she forgets who Reese is. So that creates like a nice, another nice little progression for their little side story. Because we've noticed in series 2 that there's some stuff happening with those two, which is a lot nicer than what happened between them in series 1, let's be honest, with Gwen and stuff. And then it's also a really cool watch from just seeing those actors portray themselves in a slightly different way. It was like a nice change up. So I wouldn't say that they were the complete opposite of themselves, but Tosh was certainly a lot more confident. You know, she had the ladies out a little bit more and, you know, a lot more confident and stuff. And Owen was a lot more sort of inside himself, not so bolshy and cocky and stuff. And a bit of a geekiness about him. His hair was all side parted, the glasses and stuff. And all that. So weirdly, the only people it doesn't really affect is Jack and Yanto. Like those two seem completely, although their memories have been affected and infiltrated by Adam, how they present themselves was exactly the same compared to the other people. So that was weird how they didn't change themselves at all. But so yeah, dude, it was a nice change up. It was a cool thing. And then the guy playing Adam did a really decent job. Kind of that overly confident, you know, I've got this, you know, as long as I keep interacting with them and, you know, physically interacting with them and implanting memories on them, all good. And the way he sort of manipulates people as well. Like he's always in Jack's face, it feels like. When Jack kind of starts to sense that something's wrong, he can't quite put his finger on it. Adam pops up, you know, puts his hand on his shoulder and, you know, back to square one and stuff like that. So yeah, it was decent, dude. Decent watch.
It's funny you say about the characters change, isn't it? Because I did wonder that. I thought there's a very noticeable change in Tosh and Owen. But then, yeah, the other guys doesn't seem to, apart from, obviously, Gwen can't remember Reese, so she's got that slight change. But you're right, Jack and Yanto seem the same. And I don't know if there was meant to be a subtle difference there or not, but I did think that as well. I thought, well, how come the others are different and he's not? I don't know. Maybe it just affected those guys more. I've no idea. Or maybe, Adam had been putting memories more into Owen and Tosh than he had Jack and Yanto. Because, I mean, there's that bit where it's quite harsh, actually, when Yanto figures out, and Yanto's got a diary, it cracks me up, he's got his little diary out, and he figures it out, doesn't he? He's like, who is this Adam guy? You're not in my diary. And then he puts all these horrible memories in Yanto's head, doesn't he, about him being a murderer. And it's quite savage, that particular sort of 3 or 4 minute flashback. It's quite gruesome in a way. So I don't know, maybe he'd been doing more of that with the other guys, because after that, obviously, Yanto is quite different, isn't he? He's like a gibbering wreck, and he thinks he's got this terrible secret that he's carrying around with him and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, that again, that was a great, that's what I mean. This story sort of kept throwing stuff in. So it was a really simple idea of this guy that can implant memories and make you think you've known him forever, which I thought was a great idea, great concept to sort of base the story around. But then they used it quite well, like him, making, like that bit with Yanto and stuff. And then, because you're trying to think, how are they what's gonna tip them off that he's a wrong un, who's gonna work it out? And I suppose Yanto having a diary, I guess I can believe that, because he is a bit, you can imagine he might be the kind of guy that keeps a diary, I don't know. But that was a good scene. I thought that when him and Jack try and start figuring it out, when Jack puts that funny truth lie detector, which looks like a giant sonic screwdriver, when they're doing all that, I thought it was quite good stuff. There was enough going on in the story to keep me thoroughly entertained throughout, really. There's enough going on.
Yeah, and that was a good scene, actually, because it showed, because we've questioned at times Jack's not commitment to Torchwood, but how far does he want to go in terms of attaching himself emotionally to the other people at Torchwood. Especially in series 1, we had various moments where Gwen and some other people, they're just really they're trying to figure out who he actually is, because he doesn't reveal to them anything to do with his past. They don't really know where he's come from. Nothing. He's keeping all of the details about himself close to his chest. He's not revealing the cards. So it's cool that in that scene where Yanto is doing the lie detector thing, that Jack still doesn't believe him. Jack's formed enough of a connection with Yanto that he's like, no, I still don't believe it. Even though this is like, I think he says, like the best lie detector in the galaxy or universe or something.
Yeah.
And he's failing it miserably. Because in his head, he truly believes he's done it. So he obviously fails the test. But even then, Jack's like, no, I don't believe it. So that shows like a good progression between Jack and his integration, I suppose, with the emotional side of the other people in Torchwood.
I liked Barrowman in this. He gave a more subtle performance than he wasn't sort of like the big bullshit. Maybe, so in a way, I suppose, maybe he was slightly different. He was a slightly more toned down version of Jack. But I liked Barrowman's performance in this. I know sometimes we say he doesn't seem that into it, or he just goes through the motions a bit and does a bit of shouting. In this, I thought his performance was great. And I wonder if that's because he got all the sort of backstory stuff that he probably loved. And when he has to do the emotional scenes and that, he was really good in it, I thought. Especially the end bit, when the guy's like trying to do the bargain with him. He was great in those scenes. He seemed to have toned it down a notch in this episode, which I thought was really good. Like you said, the scene with Yanto, for example, he just plays it really, like you can just see it's all in his face. He's like, nah, something's not right here. And I do think Adam would have wiped the CCTV though. Adam's been Adam's been pretty sharp up to now, sort of updating the systems and making it, integrating himself into Torchwood. I don't think he would have been stupid enough to leave the CCTV. But then again, you've got to move the story on. Like, how else is Jack going to figure it out? But That was great stuff. Or when he's, Jack realizes, because what does he do? He goes behind him with a gun, doesn't he? He's just like, talk to me, Adam. And I thought he just seemed very sort of calm and in control in this episode, and I liked that. I liked Barrowman's thoughts rather than being like, okay, Adam, tell me. You know what I mean? Sometimes he can be a bit sort of OTT, but in this, he seemed to just get the performance right. I thought really liked Jack in this one.
Yeah, no, agreed. And I was going to come on to that, because we were talking about Jack and that scene with Yanto, and then following on from that, there's that really cool bit where Tosh and Owen and Gwen are there, and at this point, Jack and Yanto have figured out that Adam's not who he says he is, and he's doing something.
Yeah,
and there's that cool bit where he just leaves it be, doesn't he, for a few minutes. He's just standing watching behind a screen, and he's just watching what's going on, and you feel like, so is he going to approach him? Is he going to do anything? And then you just see, the pistol like in the back of his head. But then that made me think of that scene where they're trying to figure it out, and he's like, no, I don't believe you did it. And then they're looking at the CCTV, and it's all there. Like you said, he's been sharp up to now because he's gone into the set, like the whatever it is in the computer system, and he's added himself in, and he's done all that. So he's been pretty clever. He's done everything pretty well. No one's onto him at that point. So to just leave, because when he was doing it to Yanto, I thought, surely they've got cameras in the hub.
Yeah, I did.
Surely.
As well. Yeah.
Did you think that as well?
Yeah.
And I thought, I wonder if that's going to come up, that he's either going to wipe him or that's going to be he's going to get caught out with that. So that was a little bit of I don't know, but maybe that's like, I don't know, like every baddie in TV and film has like a slip up moment, I guess, where they get caught out, so that was his moment, I suppose.
I'm just going to put it down to the fact that Adam was probably just keen to get back to Tosh's that particular evening, and he just overlooked it, because I think that is close to that scene, isn't it, when they go back and have a little bit of a I'm just going to put it down to that. But it's just a plot device. I can totally overlook it. To be honest, I liked everything in this. There was only one scene, actually just one line, that really made me go, that let me down. And it was just one line, and it just annoyed me.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, everything else was great in this episode, as far as I'm concerned. But there's the bit, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? So they're doing the whole memory thing with Jack around the table and talking their feelings out loud. And Gwen turns to Jack and says, I love Reese, but not like I love you. And I thought, that is so unnecessary. What is this thing between Gwen and Jack? What is it? Because they've kind of eased off it since series 1, haven't they? We haven't really had much between those two, have we? I know we've been watching this a bit. I haven't noticed as much in series 2, has there, between those two?
We had one little moment in, was it the episode before, with the whole, was it Meat? Yeah. So in the last episode we did.
Where they were against the wall.
Against the wall. That little moment, but other than that,
just looks and things, wasn't it? Yeah. So when she said that, I really did groan. I thought, I didn't know. I don't want that. So apart from that one little line, everything else pretty much worked for me. But it's strange. That really sticks in my mind as a bit of a clanger. Like, why does she say it? Because that's the thing. When she's forgotten Reese and she has to remind herself who he is, and they go to the supermarket and he starts moaning, and she says, what's she call him? Something.
Ranty Reese or something.
Ranty Reese, and she starts to remember how much she loves him, and you really buy into their relationship. So I really don't like all this stuff with her and Jack. It's like, I wish they'd just drop that. That should just be a series 1. Tried that, didn't really work. They should build the relationship between Gwen and Reese, because they're so good together, those two. As actors and as the characters, they just really bounce off each other well. So that line annoyed me more than it should, but it does stick it out as a bit of a clanger to me when she said it. I would have cut that line, definitely. I would not have put that in there. Yeah. And I really hope it doesn't go anywhere. I hope it wasn't put in there because we're going to have more flirty stuff between her and Jack, because I just don't think, for me personally, I just don't want it. I don't want that.
I'll be honest, dude. That was a point off the score for me, that line.
Yeah, exactly. I knew it would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also he gives, when she says, "Oh, I love Reese," and he gives a bit of a look as well. And I'm thinking, "Oh, Jack, get over yourself. You're sleeping with everybody else. You don't need Gwen as well. Stop being so greedy." Do you know what I mean? He's got Yanto. He sleeps with practically everybody he meets. So why does he have to go after Gwen? You know what I mean? So yeah, that whole just little conversation I would have cut.
Yeah, me too.
It annoyed me, but it's probably the only thing I didn't like about the episode.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, mate. Most of it was a good watch. It was there was a couple, like the scenes you mentioned with Jack doing the emotional stuff. There was another scene where it was quite intense, where he goes off searching for something, and he sees an image of his dad down in the sewer, I think.
Yeah,
and as he comes out, he's like, it's like knocked him for six, and he's going crazy. And then, of course, Adam turns up, and then there was that moment there where I thought, is he gonna catch him out here? Because he was like, "How long have you been here?" sort of thing. And then he starts to, you can see in his face that Jack's starting to get worried a little bit, coupled with what he's just seen. And then again, Adam puts his hand on him or on his face, whatever. And then, but he carries on though, as he's walking away. He's like trying to piece together, trying to figure out why these memories are coming back to him and stuff. And then Adam's like banging on at him, like, "You can confide in me." You know what I mean? So he's playing the game really well. But then Jack's really good in that scene as well as the scene at the end where he's in his flashback sequence. And,
I loved that bit.
Yeah.
Like, the way Adam puts himself into the memory. Mm-hmm. So like it's the kids talking, and then suddenly Adam's there.
Yeah.
On the beach, and it was like edited and done so well. Just brilliant, that bit. And then Jack's, the conflict in Jack as well. Then he really wants this to be true, but Adam's ruined it, and what can he do about it? That was great, really. And it was a good. That's what I mean about the ending not being disappointing. It was a good way to continue using the concept, in another way. On Jack, I thought it was a really good scene. That.
Yeah, that was good. And talking of Adam sort of inserting himself into things, did you notice in the intro? Normally when the intro is like da 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 da, and we have those sort of flashy scenes, and you see them just walking around and stuff. There was a couple of scenes where Adam's in those as well.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so it kind of gives you that kind of. It kind of sets it up like, who's this guy? Oh, there must be a new member of Torchwood that's in this. I
wish I'd noticed that. I didn't know. To be honest, I probably put it on, and knowing me, I was probably looking at my phone while the music was playing or something. I didn't notice that at all. I'll have to go back and watch it. This is definitely an episode I'd go back and watch. I think it's one of the ones I've enjoyed the most so far. Actually, I'll definitely go back and rewatch this. But I'll look out for that next time, because no, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Is he in the bit? He's not in the bit where they're walking in the rain, is he?
No.
That. Oh, but he's just in clips.
He's in clips, yeah.
Oh, right.
So you do think that, yeah, because you do think that. You think, who's this chap then? And then that's how the episode opens up. It's really cool. Like there's just this other dude in the hub with the rest of them. And you think, okay, if we like jump forward in time, like, has there been a big gap since the last episode? And they're just going to explain how this person's now part of Torchwood. But it's really cool, Gwen's reaction, though.
Who the hell are you?
Yeah, who the hell? Yeah. And they don't hold anything back. There isn't like this big reveal, like 2/3 of the way through the episode. Immediately, he puts his hand on her shoulder. She has this strange moment for 2 seconds, and then that's it. It's like, oh, yeah, everything's good. So it was really cool that they just got that out the way. Like, it wasn't like 45 minutes in, and then there's this massive penny drop. Like, oh, this guy Adam's been implanting memories and stuff. Because they get that out of the way, and then it's just that kind of slow build up to like, is he going to get caught? Is he not going to get caught?
Yeah.
On all that stuff. So, like you, mate, there aren't a huge amount of Torchwood episodes that I would be bothered to go back and watch. There's certainly a few of them, but this is one of those for sure. It's a really good watch. What did you think to that whole thing around Jack then? Because this is the first time that we've seen anything to do with Jack. Visually, like there's been plenty of scenes within Torchwood and Doctor Who where Jack has described a few things and told people about a few things. Like it was mainly around him being part of the the time agency or something. What was that? whatever it was he was part of.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? And then in the episode in Doctor Who, where he's in it with Eccleston's Doctor and stuff, there's that whole thing around the war, and people think that he isn't like hundreds of years old, but there is something quite wrong because he showed up on a spaceship and it's World War II and blah, blah, blah. So this is the first time that we've seen like a proper visual bit of history around Jack's character. And it was just really well done in terms of opening up Jack in like present day, I suppose, that whole emotional thing, because it really does rock him. Like, we never see him cry, really. He's normally, like you said, a bit bolshy and a bit G.I. Joe, tough guy, you know. So it was really cool the way that they opened him up multiple times throughout the story. This wasn't just like a little bit where he gets a bit of a tear in his eye and that's it. And especially at the end as well, when he knows that when he takes the pill, he's going to lose the last memory he's got of his dad.
Yes,
but he sacrifices that memory anyway because he knows it's the right thing to do. And it's heartbreaking, isn't it? Because he's a bit of a troubled soul, Captain Jack, isn't he? He's not, because of what's happened to him and what's happening now, I suppose, he can never be truly happy, I think is the best way to put it. He's a bit of a troubled soul. So, yeah, like you said about the emotional side of things and John Barrowman playing that really well, it was really nice, kind of like a Captain Jack episode as well. Yeah,
no, that's right, because we've that's the thing with Torchwood. I guess it's good you want to explore the character Captain Jack more, but you don't want to, a bit like the Doctor, you don't want to know everything about him. It's nice to have that bit of mystery. So we got to know that he stole someone's name, didn't we, back in that series 1, the one where they go back to the war and he meets the real Captain Jack. That was a lovely backstory for Jack's character. So then this one, we're getting to see another side, a totally different part of Jack's life that we knew nothing about. And it's really intriguing. And I can't remember if we go back to it or not. If this is it, in my mind, I think we do find out more. I hope so, because I really, really enjoyed all that stuff on the beach with his brother and stuff. I'm not sure about the kid they got to play young Jack though. The likeness when they were auditioning that. I mean, he doesn't look anything like Jack, does he?
That must have been tough, though.
Not that it's a big deal. I mean, the kid's not a bad actor for a kid actor, but I kept thinking there's a shot when he stood next to Jack as well. I'm thinking, well, I could have found the kid that looked a little bit more like him.
A little bit, He didn't look anything like. I mean,
he didn't look anything like him, not even the slightest bit.
Yeah, but there's apart from the child actor not looking remotely like John Barrowman, as he would have been as a kid, that just layers on the heartbreak though for his character, because we see his little brother get killed. Yeah, and he blames himself for that, obviously, and his dad getting killed as well.
Is this the first time we found out that Jack's got a brother?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So it's nice to find out a few little more bits about Jack's life, if you like. But yeah. So I wonder if we do. Well, I guess I don't. Yeah, don't tell me because I don't want to ruin it. But I am intrigued to see if this gets picked up further along. I get the feeling it does, but I might just be thinking of this episode. I remember that building. That's all. I remember that building on the beach quite prominently.
Okay.
I remember liking it. But it's great to see, like you said, I mean, the cast have a lot of emotion to deal with in this episode. And I think I'm glad it's come at this point in the series because the cast are much more settled and into their characters at this point. And I think everybody here does a good job. I think if they'd have done this in series 1, do you remember they hadn't quite found their feet, some of them, and they weren't really gelling as a cast. And in this, the cast are really gelling well. Everybody kind of delivers in their performance. I particularly do like Bern Gorman when he's playing Owen as this sort of geeky. It needed that humorous element because it's quite a serious sort of episode, really.
Yeah,
there isn't a lot of humor in it, so it really needed that. And he's slightly over the top, but I did enjoy his performance in it. I thought it was funny. Trying to think what the bit is. Oh, it's when he confesses to Tosh.
Yeah.
She's really harsh, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
Like, I just wanted to say, like, you know, if you were my girlfriend, and she's like, well, what are you talking about? She really lays into him, and you're like, oh, poor old Owen. But then the way he switches, so when they're back to normal at the end, she's like, "Oh, these flowers are from you, Owen." He's like, "Yeah, in your dreams, Tosh." He's back to being cocky. Yeah. I just thought the way he switched back to being cocky Owen and stuff, it was a fun. It was fun. Mm-hmm. I did think it needed that sort of performance from him.
Yeah, definitely.
It was good.
Yeah,
nice to see Tosh being a bit more confident as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Yeah, she's
she doesn't have a lot of luck in love, though, does she?
Oh God, old Tosh.
Poor old Tosh.
Yeah, but they kind of it was fun though. You're right. How it's almost like a role reversal for those two.
Yeah, I think that's what they were doing.
Yeah, because Tosh is normally quite reserved and, like I said earlier, she wears a low-cut top through most of it and she's quite a short skirt and they've made her quite sexual in this episode. She's quite, obviously the scene with her and Adam having some sexy time, which wasn't too graphic, but, they've made her quite sexual and flirty and, very confident and stuff. And Bern Gorman does the whole geeky thing quite well because not only has he got to be geeky in that respect, he also has to be like it with everyone else as well. So the other actors must have just been cracking up seeing him like that because it's such a big switch from how he normally is. Like you just said at the end when he goes, "Oh, I don't do flowers or apologies," and he's like, "Must be another Owen, whatever." You just sort of roll your eyes like, "Oh, here we go, back to
here he is." Back to being the lad.
Yeah, but the way that Naoko Mori plays Tosh in that for most of the episode, she really has got a hold of the whole confidence thing and like the way she just pies him off, like, "You're not my type and you never will be," and she just struts off, and he's just sat there crushed. Like,
she does it well though, doesn't she? I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes when a character has to play a part differently, they don't always get it, do they? You sometimes feel it feels a bit forced, but she really plays that sort of more confident Tosh well. Almost wish she was a little bit more like that, to be honest, because she's quite strong, in this particular episode. Like, you can tell she's just not messing around and she's going to get what she wants. And so it is a shame. The problem is that you just know that how unlucky in love that Tosh is, that that this is going to end badly for her. So even from the get-go, you're like, "Oh dear, Tosh has got another heartbreak coming." And Owen is not going to be there to pick up the pieces like she wants.
Yeah.
So, poor old Tosh. But they both of them, I think, do a nice job of the sort of role reversal switch, if you like.
Yeah. Dude, Kai Owen was really good again as Reese in this one.
He is good, and I think just briefly going back to what we were saying earlier about why we don't like this flirty thing with Jack. I mean, I think it is because Reese is so likable. I think if she was dating sort of someone who was even half as likable as Reese, you probably wouldn't be so bothered by the flirting. You'd be like, "Yeah." But because it's Reese, and because you like him so much, I think that's why it annoys me so much. You know what I mean? If it was somebody else, or if the character wasn't as good, you probably wouldn't be bothered. You'd be like, "Well, yeah, Gwen and Jack, they got a bit of a thing for each other." But it's just because it's because it's Reese, and you wouldn't want that to happen to Reese. He's such a dude, and he does play the part really well, Kai Owen. He's just so likable, and him and Gwen are great together.
He is, man.
I think that's why it bugs me. That's why it bugs me. It's just because it's Reese.
No, it's the same for me, mate. Yeah, he's such a solid guy and such a nice, and you can tell that he absolutely adores Gwen. That's what makes it even more annoying, where she and there's like several layers of annoyance about it, but the most annoying thing is she knows how much he loves her. She's fully aware of that, but she still does the whole flirty thing anyway. That's what's annoying. Like, if he was a bit, like you said, if he was a bit of a prat and not a very good boyfriend, and
or if you saw him in a bar being sleazy, you might think, "Oh, well, he's as bad," or
exactly,
he's not, is he? Yeah.
So the fact that he's like that with her, kind of worships her in a way, loves her so much, and she knows it, but she still like it. Oh, it's so annoying. So he was really good. I just want to touch on the ending. I'm not the bit where Jack takes the pill and Adam sort of disappears into whatever it is, the void where he came from. Maybe, I'm not sure, but it's kind of a weird ending. The last scene after that, where Jack finds the wooden box thing in his office on the desk. and he takes it out
Yeah,
the
where
bag.
did that come from? I felt like I'd missed something.
Yeah, so earlier on, so I think that's what Adam came in. I think.
Oh, is it? Right. Yeah, I was trying to work out where this box is. I thought, did I miss something?
I think so. Anyway, don't quote me on that, but I think so.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to figure it out throughout the episode. Anyway, they like try and figure out what's going on. And at the end, he takes it out of the bag, and then a little segment of it comes out. He pops it in, it opens up, and he finds sand in there, which I assume is from some kind of physical manifestation of his memory of being on the beach, from his flashbacks. And you can see he's really like weirded out by it. Like he picks the sand up, it comes out, and his face is like, "What the bloody hell's all this?" But he just leaves it. He just, instead of like going out to someone else and saying, "Guys, just found this really weird box in my office. I've never seen it before. It's full of sand. We should probably look into it." He just puts it down and goes off to lunch. It's a bit random.
Yeah, it is a bit random. I mean, that is the only other thing which really is a little bit strange, is that they've lost 2 days. They realise they've all lost 2 days. Normally, that would be a really big deal. They'd be like, Jack would be putting them all in lockdown. He'd be, right, we need to figure out what's happened. Something's gone, this is a big deal. None of them seem bothered by the fact that, I've lost 2 days as well. Yeah, I wonder what happened. They don't seem bothered by it. And I think Torchwood knowing how things work, and it would be a big deal. They would be investigating that like crazy. Like, hang on a minute, you've lost 2 days as well, where something's not right here. They would, they just don't seem bothered at all. Which, I mean, again, it's so the story can wrap up. I get it. But I did think that was a bit odd. And the stuff with the box. Because I love the box. I thought, God, what is this cool box, cool puzzle box that Jack's got? And it's got sand in it. What's happening here? And then, he just pulls it out of the box, and that's that. So, it does seem, I'm sure this has got to get picked up later, but it did seem a little bit like they should be more bothered by these things that they don't understand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it is cool. Like the whole people losing their memory for a certain number of days. It's been done quite a few times, mainly like science fiction stuff. There's a really good episode of Red Dwarf called Thanks for the Memory. And they have almost the same thing where they can't remember the last 4 days. So they have to go back and repiece it and stuff. But, and they've done it in, various sci-fi things, but it always really perturbs people. They get weirded out by it and they have to figure it out. But like you said, at the end, they're like, oh, lost 2 days. Anyone want a cup of tea?
Yeah,
it almost feels like that.
To get the kettle on. It doesn't. I don't think they'd react like that, but I guess it's just like, no, it's the end of the episode, so we're just glazing over it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
one thing that was before we finish up, one thing that was quite cool is when Jack explains that some kind of alien thing invaded and killed them. We don't find out exactly what they are, but the sound effects that they used, that shrieking, screaming sound, was the same one that they used for the Krillitanes in the school reunion episode. So whether it was the Krillitanes or something else, I'm not sure, but that was a nice little link, a nice little reference to Doctor Who.
I thought it sounded familiar, because we don't see the creature, do we? But it's good, actually, because Jack describes it, so you kind of feel the threat anyway, because Jack's so sort of horrified by these things. But we don't actually see it, do we, the creature?
No, just a shadow.
It's a shadow, yeah. I mean, the sound design in this was good, and the music was great. The music was really good this week. I mean, it's all generally pretty good in Tosh, but there's a lot of emotion in this episode, and the flashback stuff with Jack as well. It really had that almost Doctor Who feel to it. A lot of the sort of, it's not choir, but the vocal sort of music that we get in Doctor Who, all that stuff, was beautiful in this episode. I don't know who did the music, but it was really good.
Music was Ben Foster.
Ben Foster, was it? Yeah, really good. I mean, and the direction as well was very good this week. So Andy Goddard, I thought, did a great job with the direction. Like that scene at the end where Jack pulls the sand out the box, the lighting and everything behind him is like these blues and reds and everything in the episode, and the stuff on the beach, which I told you I loved it. Everything looked fantastic. It was really well shot, I thought, and and the music and everything just very, very good this week. Production, I suppose, is the best way to put it. It was very good on this episode, I thought.
Indeedy, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got nothing else, bud.
No, don't think I have, no.
Okie dokie. Scores on the doors time. I think it's you to go first.
Yeah, I'm going to give this an 8. 8 out of 10. I nearly went a little bit higher, but I'll give it an 8, I think.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I'm with you on that, bud.
Is there a 0.5? I don't know. It is good.
Well, I had a 0.5. But then I brought it down to an 8 for that ridiculousness with Gwen.
Yeah.
And but I think, before I watched it, I thought, right, I think I remember this one. It's been so long since I've watched any Torchwood, I thought, I think I remember this one, and it wasn't that good. So in my mind, I had like a 6, sort of 6.5 in my head. I watched it, I was like, wow, that's actually a really good watch. But the thing with Gwen and the ending's a bit funny at the end where they don't care about losing the memories and stuff. So, I brought it down to an 8, bud.
Yeah, I'll stick with an 8. I've got a point, but I didn't add the 5 because I couldn't decide. But yeah, let's go with an 8. It was a good one though. I liked it.
It was. Yeah, stick with an 8. Right, what did our awesome listeners think? We had a couple of audio clips in this week. First up, our regular reviewer from Down Under. This is Sammy Satine.
Hey, Gary and Adam. Sammy Satine here. So, the Torchwood episode, Adam. What a steaming pile of dog turds this one is. Why does it have to be named after two such lovely people? Ads and geeks, of course. You know, I do wonder what the people at Doctor Who have against the name Adam anyway. Also, that entity made Gwen forget the lovely Reese. There's something seriously wrong with that. I give it 2 strange gold boxes out of 10. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if you have a symptom, get a test. Be kind and take care of yourselves. See ya.
A 2 from Sammy.
A 2, I'm shocked. A steaming pile.
A steaming pile of dog. Wow.
Well, I am shocked, Sammy.
Okie dokie.
Wow.
Yeah, Sammy. Yeah, it's just a massive difference between our scores. That's your opinion, Sammy. Then fair play. That's your opinion.
Fair play. No, absolutely. I just can't get over it. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Sammy. Moving on, and last one. This is Joe Turner.
This episode has some stand-up performances, especially from John Barrowman, Gareth David Lloyd, who played Yanto, and Kai Owen, who played Reese. I love seeing the Beauchene Peninsula and getting insight into Jack's past. We got to see a switch in character between Owen and Tosh, to see each of them adopt the other's traits. And also, what is it with tortured sandwiches and love? Honestly, firstly pickled sandwiches, now smoked salmon, there must be some blooming good sandwiches. I love the idea of Gwen forgetting Reese, as it was a reset their relationship needed, because she proved to herself that even with tortured and its thrills, she still loves Reese. Talking about Reese in this episode, he was great. Kai Owen is just such a versatile actor. He plays the emotional and comedy scenes really, really well. My favourite scene was between Yanto and Adam, where he fills him with fake memories. Gareth's acting is superb. He really portrays a sinister, evil Jack the Ripper sort of character really well. It was disturbing and wrong, yet made for an excellent scene. Finally, it's cool when they reminisce old memories that define them to defeat Adam. We learn so much about the team, especially Owen and his cold mum, maybe explaining his cold, selfish ways. And the ending was great, showing how evil Adam was, destroying Jack's only good memory. Overall, I'll give this episode an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. Okay.
Yes, good stuff. You went with a 0.5.
Went with a 0.5 that we didn't, thought it was worthy of. You rattled through a load of stuff there, Joe. That was very cool. One thing that we didn't really talk about too much. We kind of alluded to it a little bit, but that whole scene with Adam planting the memories into Yanto. We obviously spoke about that scene and those scenes being a bit savage and a bit sort of hardcore. The performance, though, from Gareth David Lloyd was very good in and just after those scenes, wasn't it? He played that really well.
He did,
like the whole sinister thing where he's got the girl up against the wall with her hand around her throat and stuff like that. Very sinister. But then also the bit afterwards where, like you said, he's just a weeping mess. And so that whole bit there, that whole sort of 10 minutes, I suppose, Gareth David Lloyd had a really good performance in those bits.
Yeah, no, he was good, actually. We probably didn't mention that enough about Gareth, because he did give a good performance. Yeah, those scenes are quite adult as well, aren't they? Quite dark. So, yeah.
Yes. Okay, over on the socials, we only had a few over there. We didn't have any on Facebook, but over on Twitter, we had Chippy T. So I like the concept of this episode. It reminds me of an old episode of Space 1999, but a lot better. The sand in the box at the end was a good idea and made me think we might come back to this theme. Not bad at all. A 7 from me.
7? Okay.
7, yeah. I remember, so this is Jordan Shortman, one of our writers. He says, I remember not enjoying this one when it first aired originally and hadn't seen it since a recent rewatch, and I was surprised that I enjoyed it. Still not a fave, but the performances sell it to me. A filler episode for sure, but a pretty decent one.
Cheers, Jordan.
Cheers, Jordan. Yep. Lost on Gallifrey podcast, one of the best and most intriguing episodes of Torchwood. A fascinating B-movie-like plot that suits Torchwood very well, an 8 out of 10. And lastly, Sarah Louise, the running Whovian. So it's a great storyline, which had me on the edge of my seat wanting to shout at the Torchwood team not to believe him. Brian Dick played Adam very well. I wanted to punch him, and I'm not a violent person. It was also good to learn about Jack's childhood, but will we see more? And Sarah gives it an 8 out of 10.
Oh.
So like I said, nothing on Facebook this week. So next week, Bud, what have we got next week?
Next week, it's the 10th Doctor, and we're going to be reviewing Army of the Ghosts and Doomsday.
There's 2 parts of that we haven't seen in bloody ages. We found that
I
earlier.
have not seen this in yonks. What season would this be the finale to? Is it season 2? Series 2?
I think it would have been, because it's Rose still. Yeah, so season 2.
It's Rose, isn't it?
Series 2, sorry. Yes. Cybermen and Daleks.
Yeah, it's weird, actually, because it's just occurred to me. I always think Rose was in it longer. I always thought she did 2 series with Tennant, but she didn't, did she?
She did 2. No. She did...
she did one with Eccleston.
One with Tennant, and then it was Martha. Yeah, so 2.
Yeah, it's Martha, yeah. I always think she's in it longer than that, yeah. So, I am very much looking forward to this. It's been a heck of a long time since I've watched that finale.
Yeah, me too, mate. Yeah. Army of Ghosts and Doomsday next week. Should be a good one. Right, dude. I think we'll wrap there for 290.
Alrighty.
Thank you so much for coming back and listening to another week, another episode of the Big Blue Box podcast. This was episode 290. Thank you so much to those that sent in your audio reviews and those that are commenting on socials. It's always great to hear what you guys think of the stories that we're reviewing. Next week, as Adam said, Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. To get your DVDs or your Blu-rays out and ready to get those watched, we'll be asking for your opinions on that as always. In the meantime, head over to our website, bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. You can listen to all of our shows on there. Plus, you can you can read all of the cool articles and reviews from our awesome writing team. Or if you want to listen to our podcast on an app, whatever app you get your podcasts on, just do a search for us, the Big Blue Box Podcast. You'll find us on there. And if you haven't already, then give us a subscribe. Give us a subscribe on those. That means you won't miss a show, and it lands every single Friday. And if you've got a minute to leave a rating and a review, that would be awesome because it helps us out loads and loads. We're on the socials too, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Just do a search for us over there. We chat Doctor Who throughout the week in between shows, so come and join in. We have a free Discord server as well. There's a link on the website. Come and join that and hang out and chat. Plenty of Doctor Who on the Discord server. Actually, on Discord, there's loads of conversations happening. There's Doctor Who, modern and classic. There's Big Finish. There's merchandise. There's like newer trailer stuff, discussion, all of that stuff going over there. So come and hang out, chat with other Doctor Who fans. Also, remember to check out my co-host channel over on YouTube. It is indeed The Geek's Handbag.
Yeah, The Geek's Handbag.
Go and check it out. Recent vid, the old calendars.
Yeah.
Doctor Who calendars.
Doctor Who. 2021 is rolling around.
Indeed, yes. Yeah. And as I say every week, tons and tons of cool videos on Adam's channel. go and get comfy and check those out. And Adam's on the socials too, under the same name, The Geek's Handbag. Go and give him a like and a follow over there. You won't be able to shut him up once you follow him.
Oh, I love the socials.
Indeedy. Let us know if you guys managed to pick up the Series 8 Blu-ray collection box set. Looking very nice. Hopefully all of you guys get round to bagging that, especially if you didn't pick them up before. Until next week, my name's Gary.
My name's Adam.
And remember, Allons-y.